This demo right here is about how to get the images on our website or an image on our website to occupy full width, full screen width. Let's see sample websites. All right, this website, I'm still working on this currently. The image on the hero section right here, it's not full width, it just occupies a portion. While on this one, yes, this is an image that occupies full width. You see the image runs from this end of the screen all the way to the other end of the screen. Then let's check our real estate diva website. This image is almost full screen width, but not exactly, because there's some padding that gave it this spacing right here to the right and to the left. So what I guess you're trying to achieve is a full screen width image in this format. All right, so let's go over to our code editor. This is a blank code editor right now. There is no single line of code. In fact, there is even no folder for our website files. We're going to add a new folder. Click on file, then go to add folder to workspace. Locate the folder you have reserved for this website. I'm using the webmaster folder. Click on add. All right, normally inside of it you should just have your index.html, okay, index.html file. Then you can click on this plus button here to add a folder for images. All right, so if you go over now, we have just two items in our webmaster folder: the index.html, which is our browser file, and the images folder. This folder is empty right now, but it's meant to hold the images we intend to use for our website. Let's go over now to our source folder. It's in my documents location. That's it, webmaster right here. So that's the two items we have inside of our website folder called webmaster: the index.html and the images folder, which is empty right now. Let's go and get an image that we can put into this images folder for our website's purpose. Okay, let me use this image, copy, and I'll paste it inside of our images folder. I could just rename it, just give it hero image. Any name you choose is your choice. You could just whichever. All right, so that is it right there. So if you look right in our code editor, on the folder section, the folder column, you will see there is now an image instead of our images folder. So you can collapse everything and click on this icon to collapse the folder tab. Let's get started with this. Our usual boilerplate routine: exclamation enter, just give document a title. Being within our head section, as usual, it is advisable we have our style elements, the style opening and closing tag. Let's open it up. I'm going to show you two easy ways of adding a background image to your website. One will be using HTML, which will be within the body section, and the other method will be by means of styling or CSS, and that would impute in the style section of our code. All right, so first strategy is within the body section using HTML. So let's first develop a section and call it section.hero. That's section with the class name of hero. Then inside of it, let's simply put an image tag and locate the image inside of our images folder. That is the image right there. Okay, now let's open this in our browser to see what plays out. So this is the image we just keyed in our code editor. This right here is the real size of this image. This is the real width of the image, and this is the height of the image. And as you can see, the image, based on its original size, does not fill up the width of our screen. Okay, well, there is a caveat to that. In order to get this image to fill up the full width of our screen, this is what we're going to do. Go back to your code editor. In your CSS or styling, you could just use the image as a selector, or dot hero space image, That's the image inside of the hero section. Set the width to 100%. And now the image is now occupying 100% the width of the screen. But let's take care of this minor or minute gap you're seeing here. You see there's this white border around. That is the browser imputed or browser default padding and margin. Let's go and get it off by employing some kind of reset. This reset is a basic ritual or routine that web developers do whenever they are building websites. All right, the first thing they do is they use the universal selector, which is the asterisk, and set margin to 0, set padding to 0. So that now takes away that white border, that white space you saw. The image is now full screen, 100% through and through. This is one method. So let's get another image into this web page. The second method, let's use the second section to accomplish that. Let's call it section.banner. All right, and this section.banner, we're not going to use HTML tag to key in the image, by which I mean we will not use the image tag. Instead, we'll leave this part blank and go over to the CSS or the styling and use CSS to add the image. Guess what? We've not even put a second image in our images folder, so let's go and do that right away. And just in case my screen is too small for you to see the font, let me zoom in a bit. Yeah, that's it right there. Our body section and our styles. Okay, let's proceed. Now I've gotten the second image inside of my images folder. This was the first image, hero image. This is the second image, banner image. All right, so let's collapse this and proceed. The first section was section.hero. This is the second section, section.banner. Like I said, the first strategy was to use the image tag inside of the section element. This time around, we're not going to use the image tag. We're going to use styling to do it. So within this portion for styling, we're going to select the banner. All right, now we're going to give it a height first, 100 VH, which is 100 viewport height, or 100 the height of the screen. If you go over to your browser, you're going to see it. This white blank space is 100 VH, 100 viewport height. If I remove it, you will see I've commented out or removed the styling right here, or the declaration. If you go over, there is no more white section, so the banner section is off. But if I release this declaration of a height for 100 VH, 100 vertical height, go over to the browser now, you will scroll down and see that's the white section right here. So our purpose right now is to get that our banner image inside of this white section in such a way that it would fill up the entire width of the screen. Let's go over to our code editor. So the next declaration we'll put is to set, there's a property called background image. Here it is. You would use the URL property to impute or locate the source of the image. In this case, we have our image in images folder, and name of the image right now is bannerimage.jpg. So let's go over to our browser and see what bannerimage.jpg. Let's go over to our browser to see if it is right there. Good. So that white blank section you saw earlier has been filled up by this banner image. You see, by default, this image is wide enough to occupy the full length of the screen, so we didn't have to set the width to 100%. So those are the two means of getting our images into our website or web page. Either I use the HTML image tag, as in the first image right here of Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, and the adopted kids, or you use CSS or styling to get the image into our web page using the background property. Background, then you set the URL or the uniform resource locator. to locate the exact image you want to use for that purpose. Alright, code ninjas, that's very much it. That's all it takes. It's as simple as that. The two strategies we used in getting background images into this our web page. For the first section, section.hero, and then the second section, section.banner. This is the code right here in our HTML side of things. Within the body elements, we had just two sections, section with the class name of hero and section with the class name of banner. Then the first strategy we employed, that's the image tag. All right, image tag of HTML is what we used to impute our image into this first section. Then the second strategy was to use the background image property with the URL syntax to get second image into our web page. That's all. Take it away.